Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of The Magnate. And today on The Magnate we have Dr. BALA YESUFU. Well, Dr. BALA YESUFU was here with us last week and he spoke to us on corporate governance and public relations. Today we'll be focusing more on his personal career, his community service, and to address the topic, can anybody and everybody become an entrepreneur? Go nowhere, the chief will be here after the break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is The Magnate, and with me here in the studio is Dr. Chief BALA YESUFU. He's going to be enlightening us on the topic, can everybody or anybody be an entrepreneur? Thank you very much, sir, for obliging our call a second time, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm happy to be back in the studio. Can anybody be an entrepreneur? Yes.
Everybody can be an entrepreneur.
Yes, that anybody can be an entrepreneur. It depends on the angle at which you look at the word entrepreneur. You know, I mean, entrepreneur, you may not necessarily have to have a factory, you know, to be able to be an entrepreneur. You know, you could just have some small funds. Just anybody. You may decide to go and buy some raw granules and then you boil and sell. You're an entrepreneur. You know, you don't have to go to school to be an entrepreneur. But if you then have to, maybe to sharpen your skills, you know, on a particular trade, and then if you are fortunate to be able to set up yourself, you know, or have somebody to set you up, or get an organization to set you up, or get loan
To set.
finance for a setup, then you are an entrepreneur.
But don't you think if everybody is an entrepreneur, that means everybody is a boss of his own, then who is going to be working?
Everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. You know, because, yes, why I'm saying that is that we cannot all go into business. You know, people have their various goals in life and what they want to become, what they want to do in life, you know. You pursue all that.
So you're trying to tell me now that your answer is yes and no?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Everybody can be and everybody cannot be an entrepreneur,
yes,
depending
yes.
on where you're looking at it from.
Yeah, it's like saying that I want to be a teacher. Everybody cannot be a teacher. Some people are not just cut out for teaching. And he's not going to be a teacher. So to say, teacher as a professional, that's what I mean. You know. So there are entrepreneurs, there are entrepreneurs. You know. So like rightly said, we could say it is not everybody that is cut out to be an entrepreneur.
Some people are built to work for that. Some people prefer. Because I've seen people who say, no, I can't go through the set of mental, because, you know, for you to be an entrepreneur, you have to be everything. You have to be a business guru. You have to be a public relation or a marketer. You have to be someone you can sell your business. Some people say they don't want to go through all that stress. Let me just do this work and get the money I'm working for, instead of going through the stress of calculating profits, making sure you're selling and the likes.
Yeah, like I said, the choice is left to individuals. Yes.
So you've talked about like everybody cannot be an entrepreneur, and yes, everybody can be an entrepreneur if you want to become an entrepreneur. So what is the rule? Because the most important thing when it comes to entrepreneurship is training. You need to have a skill. You need to be good at that skill. That means you need to have trained well to know how to carry out or how to give out a service. Even if you want to own a barbing salon or you want to own a car wash, you have to have learned. Or you want to be a tailor or a fashion designer, you have to have learned that apprenticeship before you can start your own business and say you want to start selling or start producing for yourself. So what is the role of apprenticeship in entrepreneur?
Yeah, you see, there are skills acquisition academies, you know, where you can acquire skills as an apprentice. What it means is that you want to study and learn about a vocation so that you can acquire the necessary skills that will enable you set up and be on your own, or even get employed in an organization, you know, where those skills will come to play.
Okay. So it's very important for you to at least learn before you start up your own business. Thank you very much, sir. It's been an interesting time with Dr. BALA YESUFU in the studio. Please go on a quick break now. Go nowhere. We'll be right back after this break. Hello, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still the Magnate, and with me here in the studio is Chief Dr. BALA YESUFU, who talked about entrepreneurship and apprenticeship. And now we'll be talking about corporate social responsibility. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
A lot of things I noticed around, especially in most upcoming organizations, even those that are well established, is them publicizing their corporate social responsibility. As an organization who is interested in giving back to the society, do you think it's really necessary for you to publicize corporate social responsibility?
Okay. Corporate social responsibility. Yeah, your question is, should companies publicize it? Yes, they just have to publicize it. Publicize it in the sense that they are giving back to the society. You know, they've taken so much from the society, so they are giving back to the society. Apart from the fact that they pay tax, you know, people want to know exactly what they are giving back to society. So, and how do they do that?
They have to publicize.
They have to publicize. They have to create awareness. You know, that is why most companies actually publicize what they do in terms of CSR.
Yeah, but don't you feel if they are actually doing, if all companies, especially in Nigeria here, if all companies are doing their CSR, the poverty level will have been way elevated from where it is right now, especially when we talk about the Niger Delta region where we have petroleum companies that are not contributing to the economy.
That is where a lot of people get it wrong. These petroleum companies that you are talking about, you know, these oil companies, they do a lot of CSR within the communities that they operate, you know, and whether what they do to the community permeates the community is a different question. You know, because we've heard cases where we hear these oil companies give a lot of money to leaders of the community, and leaders of the community will sit on those monies, and they will not use the monies to benefit the common man within the community. So who do you blame? You don't blame those oil companies. You can see the scandal that is currently rocking NDDC. You can see the kind of scandal that is rocking that place. You know, those monies are meant to improve the lives of people in those various communities. You know,
we are trying to say,
and people are sitting on them.
They are carrying out the community services, but it's not getting to the people that actually need it.
Yes.
So who is to blame here apart from the people that are getting the money? Don't you feel those that are giving out, the company itself needs to make sure that the money they are giving out or the kind of the things they are giving out gets to the people that really need them?
Yeah, you see, what most of those companies do is that most of them don't really give out money as such, you know. They do what they call needs assessment of the community and then find out exactly what they require. So when they agree with the community leaders on what they require, you know, they go all out to get those things for the community.
Then if they have gotten the things for the community, then we should see it in the community.
But you see, is that just like what we call the Nigerian factor. Despite that, they ask for money, and these oil companies give them money. You know, because that is what they are looking for. It's the money they are looking for. They are not looking for the community. I mean, they are not looking for they are not asking the oil companies to come and build hospitals, build schools, and all that for them. You know, they know that they will not make money out of all that. So they prefer the oil companies to give them money. They want to share money. And they want to shortchange their people. You know, the leaders want to shortchange their people, and that is what they do.
Okay, still talking about CSR, we found out that you've participated in a lot of CSR activities, donating huge sum of money to flood victims, giving out free eyeglasses for people who need it. What drives you? Like, what's the motive behind this, your philanthropy nation? Yeah,
thank you very much. My DNA is wired towards humanitarian service. You know, I'm a Rotarian. And you know what we do. service above self,
Service.
and then service to humanity, so to say, you know. The flawed thing that you talked about, yes, I facilitated the giving out of succor to communities that were affected during the last flooding in Edo State, you know, when I was still in the employ of Cadbury Nigeria PLC. Yes. You know, but on a personal note, my cousin and I, my cousin owns, is based in Canada, Barrister Kunle Iginla. He owns EA Iginla Compassionate Listening Society. It's an NGO in Canada, you know. We collaborate to do this free cataract surgery in Agbede, my hometown in Edo State, you know, under the umbrella of late Alhaji Oga YESUFU free cataract surgeries for Agbede. And it's an annual thing. We identified the fact that one of the very serious ailments around that community is cataract, you know. So we decided to take it head on. And by the grace of God, I think we've impacted on that community. And God giving us more resources, you know, we'll try as much as possible to continue with the project.
I was speaking on Agbede in Edo State. Aside the free eye screening, you've built libraries, you've donated to schools, and then you're even a priest. Is it that you're looking into going into politics, or you are thinking about maybe maybe sitting on one of the stools in your community to become the Oba?
I'm a prince of one of the ruling houses in Agbede, my community, you know. Aside from that, like I said, my DNA is wired into doing humanitarian services, so to say. Yes, there was need to build a library for one of the secondary schools in Agbede. You know, by the grace of God, I made sure I built one in memory of my late father at the Highway Secondary School, Agbede. You know, at the time, I discovered that the school pupils and their teachers go into the bush to defecate, and I didn't like the sight, you know, of pupils, teachers going to the bush to defecate, and there was need to provide toilet facilities for them, which I did. You know, I'm happy to have done that, and they are quite happy that they now have toilets within the school premises. You know, then the cataract surgery, free cataract surgery thing that I mentioned earlier on, in collaboration with my cousin Barrister Kunle Iginla, you know. And we're also trying to see how we can collaborate with the Edo State government to do a few things within that community, because that is where I come from, you know, and I believe that charity begins at home. You know, most of these things we would have done around where I reside now, Lagos area, but I don't see any point in doing such things within Lagos. I'd rather take such things to my home, you know, my town, where I think they richly deserve such services.
So you've now answered my second. Are we going to see you in politics in the next few years? Are you planning to go into politics?
Yes, politics, we're all political animals as human beings, so to say, you know. Going into politics as a profession, I will not do. But if I'm appointed, you know, to a position where I can render any service to my community, to my state, I don't think I will turn it down.
It's been an interesting time with Chief Dr. BALA YESUFU. We'll be going on a quick break now, but when we're back, you'll still be with us. Stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still the Magnate. And with me here in the studio is Dr. BALA YESUFU. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So, Doctor, you have a PhD, honorary PhD. Is it your community service? Because you said you're an humanitarian who likes to give back to the societies. Is it from this you got your honorary PhD?
Thank you very much for this question. Actually, like I had mentioned, export is, or non-oil export is a kind of gray area, especially within our setup here in Nigeria. You know, as soon as I launched the book, you know, I got a letter from a university abroad, the European American University, you know, that they got hold of the copy of the book and they evaluated it, and they believe that I did a very good job, you know, and that the book is pace setting, and that they would like to oblige me honorary doctorate degree in corporate governance and management of the university, you know. And then I saw it as a plus, a welcome development. And then they had to send their representatives from Dominica, you know, to Nigeria. And the award was conferred on me at the University of Lagos auditorium.
Wow, that's very great, sir.
So basically, I think it is the book
that earned you your PhD. So moving on, sir. What people are clamoring when it comes to environmental hazard, we talk about plastic pollution, plastic waste, and how you can turn this, how we can recycle them to wealth. When people talk about waste to wealth, what's your take on it?
Yeah, this is a very pertinent question. You know, it's really unfortunate that the menace of waste bottle plastics, especially, all over the place, in our gutters, in our canals, you know, in our streets and all that, you know. I'm very happy that a group of young Nigerians, you know, they have come together as volunteers, you know, and these young boys and girls are actually less than 40 years old, you know. So they came back, they have constituted themselves as a group, you know, and they call themselves Humanity Nigeria, you know. They have their camp in Ikorodu, you know, where they are thinking of how to exterminate this menace, you know, this pollution. That's so they are organizing a festival, you know, which they call Art Festival Nigeria. And this project is going to be pan-Nigeria. And what they intend to do is they have actually started enlisting volunteers all over the country. So between 22nd and 27th of September, they will mobilize these volunteers in such that their target is to be able to pick, you know, 5 million
bottles,
plastic, that's bottle waste, you know, plastic waste, you know, 5 million, 5 million pan-Nigeria in 5 days.
In 5 days?
Yes. And their target is such that if they're able to achieve that target, they will get certification from Guinness Book of World Record, you know. So, and I think it's a very good development for such young boys and girls to get themselves together, you know, to be able to come up with this kind of initiative, you know. So imagine if these guys achieve picking 5 million bottles, and then for sustainability, people will now know that yes, it is good for them to just see, if you see any plastic bottle waste anywhere, you pick and then you dump where you are supposed to dump them, you know, where they will be recycled, you know. And then in recycling this, I'm sure there will be a lot of benefit, you know, to the community if they have to recycle it. And then people will now start picking all these bottles. When you pick them, you know, I'm sure there will be reward for picking them. People will make money. It will also generate employment. It will generate revenue. You know that kind of thing. So these young boys and girls, they've come up with very good initiative.
It's a very good.
And then I'm happy to be their marketing consultant and an advisor. And I'm doing it pro bono. Definitely. I see it as a part of a service to community. In fact, in Rotary International, we have 6 areas of focus. But just recently, we have decided to add an additional area of focus, which is support environment, supporting the environment as our 7th area of focus. So this has actually come to play, and I'm happy about the development. So, and we are talking to so many companies, agencies, to collaborate with these, to sponsor and collaborate with these young boys and girls to ensure that we have a very smooth project, And I'm happy that some waste disposal agencies, and some government agencies like, say in Lagos State, La Sepa, Loma, and all that, they've been able to sign on this. And then to encourage these young boys and girls. Some companies are already also donating T-shirts. Yours truly, I have also given them reasonable quantity of T-shirts that most volunteers we are done on that day. So I think it's a good initiative. We should encourage such an initiative.
It's a very great idea. I think I watched a documentary that said in 2053, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fishes, because the rate at which the plastic pollution is out there is just too much. So we're using this medium to call on sponsors and brands to also collaborate on the Magnate program, as it's our way of giving back to society to empower people who are open to go into business. So, sir, you were talking about Rotary earlier on. You said you are a Rotary member, and one of the news that is going around is that Africa is now polio free. What do you think about this great milestone achievement?
Yeah, we are very excited that at last the wild polio virus has been exterminated from Africa, following the certification by the World Health Organization. We have been on this journey in collaboration with so many organizations and individuals since 1985. We are excited.
Wow.
The euphoria is still on. What we also need to do now is sustainability. We are not going to rest on our oars. We must continue to monitor our communities. We must continue to still give vaccines to newly born babies, to avoid the wild polio virus in coming back. So we are quite excited.
So what will you attribute to this great achievement, this great milestone? What will you attribute? What do you think helped in?
We were very focused. We knew what we wanted, and then we set a date and we worked towards it. And we had to collaborate with those that we needed to collaborate with.
Wow. So finally, we do not end this program without an advice for the youth, the upcoming generations who are watching. So what advice will you give them, especially now that there is job loss and there is pay cuts?
The thing is that they should not lose hope, because you know that if there's life, there's hope. So they should try as much as possible, even if it is to learn a skill. They should try as possible to learn a skill, and the way to go now is for everyone to be on his or her own, or virtually everybody should be on his or her own. Learn a trade and look for a way of survival. That's my advice to youth. Rome was not built in a day.
It wasn't.
So they shouldn't get frustrated. They shouldn't get depressed. Talk to people, get people to mentor you, and be focused.
So you've heard it. Wow, it's been a very educating and interesting session with Dr. BALA YESUFU. I've learned a lot. He talked about entrepreneurship, he talked about apprenticeship, he talked about community service, public relations, and a whole lot of others. Thank you so much for obliging our call, sir. I'm sure the viewers have learned a lot from your talk today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And I've also learned a lot from the questions that you have asked me.
Thank you very much, sir. Please do join us next week as we bring to you another fresh episode of The Magnate. Please remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at The Magnate TV on Facebook and Instagram. Till we meet next week, I am Ibrahim Olagunju.